Okay, hello, we're rolling. Hello. Hello, my little fishes. I'm showing my face in this video, isn't that fun? Welcome or welcome back to my little tarot corner of YouTube. If you are new here, my name is Raven, aka Boyish Empress, and I will be your guide as well as your tarot reader today. I am trying something new. I am not going to do a pick a card today. I am going to do something I would like to call tarot with a friend, which is like my pick a card readings, a collective reading, just not one that you're gonna pick a card from. And I just wanted to be a little more relaxed. I wanted you to see my face, try out to see how that feels. Even though this is a silly angle and I'm going to be focusing on the cards at some point anyway, hopefully. But welcome. So sorry if the autofocus is awful. You know, cameras are cameras and we all have to learn how to use them. So I'm learning how to use mine. Today I want to do a laid back collective reading. I thought that I would focus on the future self and see if our future selves have anything juicy to say to us, anything fun, any insights, or I don't know, anything that we've learned. So I'm going to start out with my handy dandy, not notebook, but I feel silly today. I'm going to be using the Animal Spirit deck from Kim Krans. And I guess we're just going to let the cards roll, okay? I wonder if this is focusing on the cards when it's not focusing on my face. I'll just let it happen. All right. I hope that you're all doing well. At the time of my filming, the Pisces new moon has come and gone. I feel older, to be honest with you. And I spent some really necessary time today doing a yoga practice led by Jessamyn Stanley, who is on YouTube as well as other platforms, and provided this amazing yoga, what am I trying to say? She uploaded this amazing yoga video about opening to the shadow self, and it was something I didn't even know that I needed. Like, I felt nervous about doing it, but I felt guided to this afternoon. And it really changed the course of my day. And if you're interested in yoga, this is just a Jessamyn Stanley plug. I adore Jessamyn's content. And as far as guides of yoga go, she's just able to access something so authentic within me. And whenever I am led by her, I just feel like all of my cards are allowed to be on the table. I cried so much. And so if you're looking to invite some space, have some time and space with your shadow self, I'll just link that video down below. Why not, right? Anyway, Pisces season is a lot. I feel like if this is how a Pisces feels at all times, hats off to you, my little fishes, because it can really be a lot to hold. It's a lot of juicy cosmic energy, but it's also a lot of deep emotional darkness to access during this time. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about it for sure. Anyway, let's see what my collective needs to know from their future self, and what I need to know about from my future self, because I'm a part of this collective, don't you forget. Okay, starting with the fox. Let's see what else. Golden egg, I love it. And one more. Moth. I'm an awful host. I should have said, go get a beverage, my friend. Go get a snack and come back here, okay? This is our chill time. You're at my table. I should have invited you to get something to snack on and something to enjoy. So, I want to start off talking about this fox fellow here. I love the fox as an archetype, but I think that the fox is a bit more multifaceted than we give it credit for. The fox is an animal archetype that reminds me of Loki in its trickster energy, even though I don't even know if Loki is representative of foxes very much. It's just that, like, I don't know, in a lot of our stories we see the fox as a trickster, as an archetype that's very smart and cunning. But actually, interestingly enough, the fox in this deck is not actually cunning or manipulative. The fox in this deck talks more about an ability to actually really commit yourself to something. The fox in this deck talks about family, and it talks about really being a dependable partner, which is something that I don't think a lot of people would necessarily think of when they think of the fox, but apparently they are very dedicated to their mates. They stay with one mate for their whole lives, and it's something that is kind of overshadowed by this reputation that the fox has of basically being a master manipulator and being full of tricks. But here it's suggesting that the parts of you that were misunderstood, I actually feel like this is a part of you that you misunderstand about yourself. It's not really coming from an external force. I'm getting the message that there is a part of you now that you feel sort of ashamed of, and it exists under the realm of persistence and consistency. For me, this is coming up in my life as my perceived inability to stick to one thing. So I am a person who has many different interests, and one of the biggest downfalls I've had in orienting my own energy is being so interested in so many things that I'm not able to be devoted, actually devote my energy consistently to one thing enough to see it grow. And that comes up for me in the area of passions and creativity and that sort of thing. For you, this might be coming up as you're seeing yourself in this player energy, in this not exactly being able or willing to be tied down by any one particular person, wanting to try out all of your different options. But it could be in another realm, like I said, in passions or creativity or work. There's just this shame around your need or desire to jump around from thing to thing. But your future self's first message is that you are misunderstanding something about yourself in this current time period. And whatever that source of shame is, you are going to realize that you are much more dependable in that area in the future. Whether this is because you have worked on it and devoted time and energy to kind of changing your ways, or if it is because you just didn't quite see that you had that stable side in you. Either way, whatever is coming up and making you feel insecure around this, just know that you're gonna feel better about it in the future. And I'm also hearing you are going to understand how actually good you are at loving in the future. There is something heart-centered about this fox. There's something that the fox is willing to give and also receive in a consistent way. But it's so interesting how there's this other side of the fox. I almost get like Gemini energy from this, where like the storyline about the fox is not what the fox truly is, at least at all times. So try to give yourself grace. Your future self wants to give you grace, to truly accept all of the different parts of you, and they may contradict one another, but there's something remarkably human about that, right? There's something remarkably human about having different sides of oneself that don't seem to go together. But try to remember that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing necessarily wrong with being contradictory. Have more grace for the way that you operate yourself right now. It's going to make sense in the future why you are spending the time the way that you are. And although we have specific visions on how we want to conduct ourselves, sometimes we just have to be in a specific pattern for a specific period of time, and it doesn't always have to be bad. Like, we don't have to beat ourselves up and think that our knee-jerk reaction to things, or kind of like our autopilot, is wrong. Sometimes it's not ideal, right? And you're gonna learn how to make those changes, but just kind of like let it roll off your back. If you're not functioning the way that you wish you were functioning, there's an element to like you are good as you are right now, and you do have to believe that you deserve to come into a space of understanding about like you don't have to be perfect in your own eyes to be acceptable, and whatever part of yourself you really don't like, other people like it a lot more than you do. I think like there's something actually kind of charming about what you are deeming as your problem right now. Okay. The golden egg. So remember how I was talking about how there's something heart-centered about the fox? The golden egg, I think, is representative of the heart center in this deck. Your future self says, your heart is worth protecting. Your heart is worth time spent building a nest of protection, at least for the time being. I am getting this image of like protecting the egg because it's not ready to hatch yet. There's something really important about nurturing the heart, and therefore really nurturing everything that comes from your heart right now, whether it is a creation, an impulse to show kindness to another, or an impulse to retract and take back an energy that you were giving away. Something about like the language of the heart. Your heart is, it has its own way, like its own set way of communicating with you what it needs and wants. And ideally, we want to incorporate all sides of ourselves, including the heart. But I almost feel like you are either a very heart-focused person, or you are just in a period of life right now where the heart is of the utmost importance. And what the heart wants is what is most true to you. So if you are a person that cares for logic, perhaps, more than your heart a lot of times. You are learning how to listen to that deeper part of you. We live in a world that sees the logic as the truth. And in a certain sense, that's fair, right? Like, we have to integrate facts and we have to consider our own intellect and work with our own intellect in order to make decisions. But it's like a primary mode of thinking. It's encouraged to think with and follow the logic instead of the heart. I'm also being led to bring up kind of like how the logic can be seen as a masculine aspect of the self, and the heart can be seen as a feminine aspect of the self. And I don't mean this in terms of gender, I mean it in terms of like different types of functioning. So, and like, if someone has some better words for me to use than those, like, please let me know, because I don't love saying those words. I'm just feeling led to talk about it in that way. But like, so we can think of the masculine as a very active energy. I think of masculine facets and masculine sides of people as being like very rooted in physicality, but also in action. And in like, it's almost like results oriented, and logic pairs with the masculine so well because logic relies on tangible facts. It relies on time spent. It relies on work, right? Like consistent work. But when we look at the region of the heart, it is feminine in this like almost like lunar aspect, where the reasonings of the heart and the functionings of the heart are not so on the surface. It's not as easy to listen to the voice of your inner heart as it is to listen to your logic. And I think part of that is, again, because we just like live in this world that conditions us to not only listen to the mind, but only listen to the mind. And so we begin to think that we begin to ignore everything below our heads, basically. And especially when you're dabbling in spirituality, it's really important to focus on those more receptive elements. And that's where I'm getting the feminine link. Seeing feminine as a more receptive mode of being, almost like not necessarily quieter, but just less on the surface. It's deeper down. It takes more digging. It takes reflection, not hard work. If you are needing to dial into the heart space, you are not needing to push and shove your way there. The more that you let go and the more that you be still and be silent, the more that you will actually hear your heart. So all of that is to say that your future self has unearthed this gorgeous, shining truth that right now you are being called to protect and nurture deeply. Your future self wants you to engage a sort of motherly love toward your own energy and your own experience. Being harsh to yourself at this time is not going to help. Being soft to yourself during this time definitely is. So it does make me think of like this motherly energy. Motherly energy is not always soft. It is usually nurturing. but it can be biting and it can be intense. So there is, okay, let me try to dial in, right? Because I feel like I'm all over the place. Your future self wants you to know that right now you are not paying attention to the heart enough. You are ignoring certain facets of like what your heart has to say because maybe you don't trust what is there. But at the same time, you are called to protect your heart. And that is because you are birthing, for lack of a better word, or creating something very beautiful and very reflective of your soul here. This could be a business, this could be a creation, this could be a child. I get a real like empress, motherly, feminine energy from this. Think about how much people who become pregnant have to preserve their energy for the months that they are pregnant. Think about kind of how much they have to sacrifice, whether it's just like comfort in the physical body or not being able to be as active as they once were, sometimes not being able to bring in the same income that they were when they were not pregnant. Like there are all of these things that have to fall away in order to nurture the thing that you are creating. And this isn't, the pregnancy thing isn't going to be like for everyone. If that's you, then that's great. But this could just be, you are making a pathway for a new version of yourself to surface through you. Think of yourself as birthing something right now. Think of yourself as needing to nurture yourself in order to let something that needs to be on this earth come through. A lot of you are artists. A lot of you are creators, speakers. I'm hearing if you are an artist, go into your cave. Maybe like embrace, I'm seeing 24 by the way. Embrace this sort of like reclusive energy. Not all the time, but like you need to focus. You need to focus in on whatever this is, okay? Dial in on it. Really like keep your vision on it and its magnificence and how it lights you up. Stay connected, stay heart-centered on whatever this creation is, and understand that you are going to have to let things go. You are going to have to deeply nurture yourself, deeply give yourself compassion, almost baby yourself in some instances, or just baby this thing. You're gonna have to spend a lot of time with this creation before it is ready to come through, but it is the center of this reading. And your future self wants to say like, I'm on the other side of this, okay? And this thing is hatched where I am right now. But for you, right now, it is in the nest. And you have to protect the shit out of it. You have to protect the shit out of it. So I'm hearing, don't tell everybody everything, right? Keep things to yourself. Have things to experience for yourself. Don't feel the need to, again, like share everything. Don't prematurely share parts of whatever this is. Keep it for yourself. Cherish the experience of watching something grow from a frickin' embryo. And that's a metaphor. Again, you might not be creating a child, okay? But take this seriously, because whatever it is, it's something that is going to at the very least change your world, but everything is connected. Think about if your favorite actor never decided to act. Think about if your favorite painter never let anyone see their work or never took the time to paint. Same thing for any type of art or creation or field that you're interested in. Just like consider what would be missing from your life if that person did not decide to go down the path that was calling to them. And then apply that to yourself and be like, I have this life, I have this purpose, I'm connected to it, I know what I want to do, I know how I want to spend my time, so all I have to do is nurture that. All I have to do is throw energy at that, throw love at that. If you are in a work environment that you're not inspired by, but you go home and you work on your novel, give your novel the energy that comes so much more naturally to give to that job that you don't like, right? Give yourself and your creations that come from an aligned place from you the attention, the love, the nurturing that they deserve, and they will flourish. But give them time, okay? Because this egg is not ready to hatch yet, but it is ready to spend time with you. It is ready. It's yours. Do you see her? She's not in focus. I'm in focus. But that's Margie. That's Margie. So our last thing to talk about is the moth. Once again, I feel the energy from the moth that I felt from the fox too, which is a misunderstanding. So there's something about the moth that is misunderstood because of its looks, basically. Like, if we think about the moth, it is so similar to the butterfly. I don't know if like moths are a type of butterfly or like what the biology behind that is, but like we can think of moths in the same way that we think of butterflies, but moths take this darker aspect. Interesting, I'm being led to talk again about like this feminine versus masculine thing where like the masculine version is typically the one that is more accepted. So if we're thinking about the butterfly is seen as beautiful. The butterfly is seen as the ultimate symbol of transformation, and a lot of times is associated just with beauty as a whole. I feel called to talk about how the butterfly can be associated with solar energy and the moth can be associated with lunar energy. So your future self wants you to honor the stuff that is not easily understood on the surface of you, whether that's from yourself or other people. There's something about the way that people misunderstand you makes you beautiful and makes you who you are. There's nothing false about you. There's nothing that you need to fear other people seeing, because if you cause a ripple effect in someone else based on being who you are, and that turns out negatively, then that is always a better choice than denying who you are for the sake of keeping someone in your life. So if that resonated with you, I hope that helps. I just feel like there's like this side of you that you find yourself really like ugly sometimes, and I don't really mean on a physical level. I mean on a deeper level. I mean on a deeper level of your personhood, or the way that you process information, or perhaps the way that you transform with the moth here. You don't have to be the butterfly to transform, okay? You can be this beautiful moth. And might I add, some people like moths more than they like butterflies. So be your own niche is what I'm hearing. So whatever project, creation this is, you are approaching it in your own unique way. And if other people think that that way is ugly or wrong, then fuck them, basically. Because in order for you to bring this thing to fruition, you're gonna have to do it your way. So do it your way, and don't worry so much about like needing to be digestible to others, because the moment that you let go of that is when you're going to start valuing this misunderstood part of you. Because when you actually find people who resonate with the true blue version of what you create, how you show yourself in the world, it's so much more fulfilling than showing people a diluted version. Also hearing, just going back to the passion project, the creation, right? Do not dilute your creative process. Like if you are writing a book, I know I'm getting so many different examples, but if you are writing a book, right? When you are writing, do not try and think about what your readers will be thinking as you're writing it, okay? Because then you are diluting your own voice in real time. And your creative process, the process of you nurturing this thing, this beautiful creation, it has to be done in your way. So you're gonna have to go through this process of centering in on your authenticity. But I just feel like your future self is so much more in line with how they actually want to conduct themselves. And there is this freedom from the chains of other people's expectations or other people's opinions on what you make or how you approach life, which is amazing. And you should really look forward to that, because in your own way, you are freeing yourself and you are coming into balance with your heart as well as your creative energy. I'm going to try to pull one card from tarot. Just one card, because I want to end this video soon. All right, Spirit. Can I please have one card from our higher selves to wrap up this reading? Oh, okay. Well, we got one. I might take this one too. Okay. I mean, the overall one is the King of Pentacles, baby. I love this King of Pentacles, okay? He gives me gender envy every time I look at him. So I like to I like to attach myself to this King of Pentacles energy. I just like look at the look in his eyes. He is so loving. And I always think of heart-centered energy when I see this King of Pentacles, because he is just open. He's just opening himself, offering himself from a true grounded place to another. And this is sturdy energy. This is like very embodied, glorious. This is a masculine energy that I feel is very in touch with their feminine energy. There's this wholeness about him that I just love. And therefore, your higher self has a very nice marriage of the active sides of them and the receptive sides of them. There is this acceptance of what is on the surface and the way that you take action, but there's also a deeper exploration going on where you're not so afraid of what those internal corners of yourself have to say to you. There's more receptiveness in listening to the self and listening to the heart. And the last message I really get from your higher self is that, like, you just don't have to worry about what stability this endeavor is going to provide you. Like, whatever that egg is, when it hatches, it is going to make you so successful. and successful in a way that you define success. You're just going to feel really abundant. You're just going to feel really in your element. And people are going to be almost intoxicated by this, but I feel also that you intoxicate your higher self, your future self intoxicates other people by how sturdy you are, which is a very interesting energy. You may very well be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or have heavy earth placements in your chart, or you are going to really embody earth element energy in the future. But this is like your higher self, baby. Just being like, look what we fucking built together. It is awesome. We climbed mountains for this. And now we get to just revel in what we've created. And more importantly, share it. Share your way of life. Share your journey. So this is why I'm getting like, don't share things too early, because you need to go through this period yourself of just like all the trials and tribulations that come with being a creator, being an active participant in authenticity. You're just gonna have to learn all these lessons, and there's nothing wrong with like sharing while you're going through something. I just feel like at this time your future self is saying like, just wait a little bit, like just make sure you're keeping things to yourself as well as sharing them. So you don't have to refrain from sharing altogether. It's just important that you let yourself have your own experiences, and in some instances let them marinate before sharing them with others. And then the last card we got is the Two of Wands. Okay, so I know that you're looking out into the horizon. You are waiting for your ships to come in. And I want to say that give yourself a little bit of reprieve from just like waiting for the thing that you want to come in. Like don't push yourself too hard. Getting the saying, this is an annoying saying, I don't like it, but a watched pot never boils kind of thing. So just focus on the actions that you are taking, but focus on your body. Take action when you need to, rest and receive when you need to, and find that balance, find that duplicity in your different modes of being. And the ships are going to come in, okay? Like if you're looking out into the horizon, look out with trust. Don't look out with this assumption that it's not coming in. Actually, quite the opposite. Start assuming that things are going to come in for you based on how much you're backing up your manifestations and your desires with genuine action and genuine thought and your authenticity, okay? We're not always going to be doing work that is specifically centered in on our creations or our manifestations. We also have to continue working on our connection to our intuition, our connection to our spirituality, our mental health, like all of these things. Some of the mundane things can get away from you while you're waiting for those ships to come in. So like, it's silly, but like the last message is like, if you're getting too hung up on your manifestations coming in, focus on something entirely mundane. Do your dishes, right? Do your laundry, take a shower. Focus on the earthly things, and I promise you'll have that big, juicy spiritual moment when it is meant to come to you. All right, my friends. Once again, my name is Boyish Empress, aka Raven, and it was an honor to do a little sit-down tarot reading with you, collective message at my dining room table. So thank you for being here and for chilling with me. If you enjoyed this video or the way that I showed up today, it would just be great if you left a comment, like, or gave me a subscribe, because as a new reader on YouTube, it just means a lot to me to get feedback. So, all right, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you have a great rest of your day or night. Take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit, soul, heart, all of it to the best of your ability. All right, Bye.